Hey guys, so today we're back to the fundamental problem of change. What's happening in our organization, and I want to be able to sort of say, okay, why are we having so much trouble improving the organization, and why is all organizations through the world having the same problem? It comes back to the fundamental issue of change. Like, you've probably seen in your life how hard you've had some crises in your life where they're a smoker and they don't want to quit smoking. They've gone to the hospital and they have to change their diet and they don't want to change their diet. Or more appropriate to us is, if you have a top performer or a superstar in the company, they're also not wanting to change. And even me, who wants to push forward, is unconsciously not wanting to change without realizing. So there's many ways that we want to change, and I guess go into your own memory bank and think, okay, in my life, when we have had a crisis within me or a family or a friend or someone that we've cared about, how have we pushed to try to get them to change? That might be through educating them, saying, hey, the food that you're eating or you're smoking is causing some issues. Being a good role model. Maybe you stop drinking alcohol because, totally, and you're like being a good role model and showing them this is the improvements of your life. You can do it through, you can be very forceful about things and be like, okay, you must change, you got to do this, and the consequences of this are going to be this, or I'm going to do this, or, there's some strong consequences if you don't change. You might try to be angry with them, you might try to be nice with them, you might try to be mean, you might try all these little things, hundreds of ways to try to get someone to change. So I guess I'm talking specifically in this case, what triggered me to do this was, if you look at our managers, if you look at the managers of the subcontractors managing their staff and everything else, it's pretty much, so they've got some really good staff members. Say they've got a top performer, superstar, and they say to the top performer, say we've got a top performer called Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player, and he's got his way of doing things, he's top performer, he's great, he's self-motivated, and if you move him from one organization to another organization, so he currently is top performing at Real Madrid, he moves to the new club he moves into in, I can't remember where he moved to, but he has to change. But everybody, his managers, his coaches and stuff, like, well, he was a top performer, he's self-determined, he's self-everything, he shouldn't have a problem to change, but he does. Everyone does. So then we have to use everything in our power to enforce that change. So you have a top performer, the organization changes, they must organizationally change with it. Like, lately we've tried to put KPIs on our organization. This is a minimum that you must achieve. We're trying to force it. We're trying to almost break the programming inside someone's brain and break that person's ego down to change, And that's a risky way, because that person can get angry and then perform less, get demotivated and quit, or one of those three. So we've got to sort of try everything. Got to say, look, you're a top performer, but if you're changing from this club to another, our organization is changing, you're going to have to change with it. You're going to have to change the way you think about things. You're going to have to change a lot with it. So just a reminder to our staff, like, don't presume that everything's okay. Just because they're a top performer, that everything's okay. They also need to change constantly, and we need to guide them in the process without getting them to get demotivated or quit as well. We want to achieve this goal. It's in their best interest. It's in this top performer's best interest. It's in the person that has some issues with their diet, and all these kind of things. So it doesn't, and keep in mind, it doesn't always work. This person that has issues with their diet, even though the doctor might have said, don't do this, they come home, they know the consequences, they know the consequences can be getting back to hospital, having some severe health issues, all this kind of stuff, but they just can't get themselves to change. And then we have to step in and try to assist in this change, you know, without breaking them, demotivating them, all that kind of stuff, you know. Same with smokers, same with everybody in the world, you know. So this change situation, we've got to become good at it, you know, whether it's with family, with kids, and everything else. So we need to assist that change. And I just encourage, our managers, our operation managers, myself, we've got to really encourage that change without, you know, organizational change, self-change, the way you deal with other people, the way you have new perspectives with things, the way the market's evolving. You've got to sort of refresh the way you think about things, talk to people from a different perspective, get new models of the way you see the world, the way you perceive the world. I think this is critically important. Why all organizations, because what's your alternative? A lot of organizations realize, like there's an organization called Exponential, I can't remember the organization, it's called Exponential something, and they work on improving organizations, and their only solution, unfortunately, is they end up firing the people in the organization because the current people in the organization are so closed-minded that when they try to change the organization and make things that work and try new ideas, they have to either fire the current staff, or what they do is what they'll do is they'll have an organization, and then they'll create a secret to make improvements in the product. They won't use the staff from here. They'll make a secret organization here. That secret organization will start testing the new product. They'll test the new product. When it works and it's proven to work, then they'll force it down here. These people are stuck in a pattern. So it's not because these people are different. I'm the same. I get stuck in patterns. You get stuck in patterns. Everybody gets stuck in patterns, you know. So once we are hypnotized in a way of thinking about things, it's very hard to even get out of it. So, for example, if I meet someone that's really, really good at sales, and I don't even need that product, but they're so good at it, and they're walking me through it, that they're winning me over slowly. I can see them using all these techniques, hypnotizing me in their way, and I can see it happening, and I'm still being tricked by them, you know. So it's the same as, you know, when they have news and they have news stations running this certain article about someone. Eventually my brain is like, you know what, maybe that could be true. You know? So we're all prone to lack of change. We're all prone to, you know, because people think, okay, if I learn the art of hypnosis, then no one can hypnotize me. Not true, you know. So you're just as susceptible to hypnosis or what they call cognitive biases. Cognitive biases mean it's the way that you look at the world, and if you learn all the cognitive biases, that the way you look at the world, you will think that, well, then no one can trick me anymore. It's not true. You know what I mean? You still get tricked by the world, even though you're aware that of these cognitive biases, you know. So I guess people in charge, people pushing the company forward, the people that are the leaders, people that everyone's looking to, we want change without damaging the people at the same time, because it's in their best interest. Or it's in their best interest, we want to change them without damage. So if you can look at the lack of progress in the organization right now, it's all because of this, you know. So in our organization worldwide. So the way I personally change is I tell myself, you know, no matter what my successes were yesterday, today's a new day, new situation, new way. I've got to start from new. I've got to think from scratch. Every day is day one. You know, you can every moment is a new moment. So you've got to always be thinking from from scratch, you know. So you're willing to, if every day is day one, then you're willing to change and rethink things in a new way. You know? So what else do I do to keep the change? I just sort of keep new information coming into me. I keep talking to people that are sort of pushing the boundaries of what we're into. And I guess I really like that, you know, listening to very intelligent people out there that are relevant to me, and that sort of gets me thinking. That's quite nice to help my brain keep thinking. Winning, you know, like when new things are being tried out and you try a few things out and one of them works out really well, you know, it feels really great. That, because then your brain associates change to winning, not, currently most people associate change to scary, unknown, uncertainty, uncomfortable, you know. So if you can associate change to winning, you know, that could help as well. Again, you know, managers within our organization, other organizations that are now partnering with us, same situation. You know, we've got to somehow progress, because if you don't, either you will lose the business will crash, or all the great opportunities that were there will be not taken up, and you end up being a very mediocre organization. So same as, you know, if you don't eat the right foods, when the doctor said it, you can get back to hospital, real low quality of life, smoking as well. And with top performers, in sport, you know, in anything, you know, you have these top performers, you know, in all sorts of sports. I'm not sure where everyone knows their sports from, but you can see it all the time in every sports organization, where the top performers just have a bad month, bad few weeks, and they never sort of climb back up, you know. So one of the fundamental things is, as a leader in that situation, you need to take this, because it's scary. It's for the top performer, because they're so high up in the hierarchy. It's scary to train them, because they're just like, oh look, you can't talk to me like that, because, you know, I'm the best. You know, so you got to somehow, in their own interest, you know, get them to go through this process of relearning everything, re-educating themselves in their sport, and you've got to take them through that process. It won't feel good. They'll associate any pain they feel they'll blame you as the person leading them through this process. But at the end of the day, we want to get them out and make sure they are a top performer in the new organization. Thanks.